Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back with another Star Citizen video. If you're new channel, welcome. This one is another Inside Star Citizen. This one's called Inside Star Citizen Tactical Capital. I don't know what that means. Tactical capital. Maybe a capital, like a capital city that is capable of defending its, or maybe a capital ship. There we go. Maybe a capital ship that has like tactical capabilities and things like that. I mean, that's just my guess. Without anything else, let's just jump into the video.
Last week was our inaugural Idris War Games test, and while that completed earlier this week
Makes
with
the
many
spice
lessons
flow.
learned, and the ship.
So here's what I always enjoy. When we have like certain developers or people that like come onto the camera, they have their titles like maybe lead developer, director, artist, or something like that. But for Jared, he always has something else under it. This time it's makes the spice flow.
Itself is still awaiting important resource management, maelstrom, multi-crew gameplay work, and more before it'll arrive permanently in the persistent universe. We here at ISC still jumped at the chance to showcase the current artistic progress of the vehicle inside and out, as well as to enlist a few of our oldest friends in providing a sort of director's commentary to the proceedings. Here's how it went.
Just a little bit of the camera. So, hi, I'm John Brook. I'm Nick Dearsley, part of the art director for 2042 era.
Your new title.
I don't even know what I am anymore. Shall I say that? Shall I say that? That'd be good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nate. I've not got a clue what I am anymore.
He's the one.
That'll go down well.
The one beef of the
Should we
week.
do that? Yeah.
He's got
Some
represent
days
on his
this,
hoodie though.
Other days on that.
What do you want to be today, Nate?
I don't know what I want to be today. What should I be today? Yeah, I was the art director for the thing. There you go.
Do you want me to go first?
You can be my bloody guest, mate.
Okay. Hi, my name's John Crew. I'm the vehicle art director.
Hi, my name's Nate. I was the vehicle art director.
We've been asked today to give you a little
I was.
director's commentary over
He made it sound like he got demoted and cast aside.
the Idris that you will have seen in the PU being fought over recently.
I think he just said the Idris. I just watched a morphologist review of him talking about the Redeemer gunship, and the Idris was actually the ship that was shown at the end, and it got blown up by the Redeemer gunship.
Right, so the exterior, this has had quite a few iterations over time in terms of not the shape stayed the same, but how like the breakup, the materials on it,
Yeah,
the engine the thrusters of.
Yeah, the shapes remain pretty true. We did make amendments to the exterior to fit the interior in because the number of spaces that we needed for Squadron sort of slowly increased. So it's a very tightly packed.
Yeah, that is the same ship from the last video of Morphologist, but it looks really cool and the design looks amazing, the turrets and everything. This looks really durable, and the title really does fit Tactical Capital.
Capital ship.
If you look at the original concept, it was
And I was
quite
right.
thin.
I said capital ship. I thought maybe it would have been the capital city as well.
It just couldn't fit everything in it.
I think my favourite feature from the original one was the hilarious flight of stairs that came down in the middle of the flight deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my first fix.
Wow.
Then we're gonna fly into the back of it, which is the way most players should normally enter the Idris.
Okay.
Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
You can go in the front, but that'll be a bit.
It's getting dark now, John.
So there we go. In Squadron, there is space for 2 Gladiuses, Gladii, and there's a space for the Argo and PV at the back, but you can technically fit 3 ships in here.
Yeah, when you first land, you'll sort of notice that the exits for the hangar are generally sort of at a lower level. One of the things we do a lot of throughout the ship actually is just slight changes in elevation, even though you're on the same deck. And the general layout It's fairly symmetrical, I would say. The ship, when it was first put together, was really sort of, I would say, designed from the inside out. So there was a lot of amendments on the exterior to make the interior. You know, interior to me is always king. You spend a lot longer on the interior of the ship. So we sculpted the exterior skin around that.
I wonder how long it took for them to do that. I mean, I'm not an expert, or I don't have any experience or training or anything like that. So if I did something like this right now, you guys will never get a finished product.
If you were to,
or even a rough
hide
draft.
that exterior, I mean, there is no breathing room. It is like a bit of an engineering masterpiece, to be honest.
So this is where the MPUV hangs from the ceiling.
Skydiving also.
Yeah, I've watched many people accidentally fall out the bottom of the Idris in atmosphere, out that hole. So
because the
don't do that.
door
Or
opening.
if you want to recreate the alien dropship scene, it's
do
pretty
that.
cool.
Oh, that's cool.
The gravity room was originally upstairs. We had to shift things around through the process again, taking inspiration from, you know, real world scientific areas. That whole room actually closes into its own cylinder. You have to sort of open the door to sort of get in, and you can close it behind you. It's quite a trip. And for all intents and purposes, unless you're going to your bunk or you're going to very specific areas like the briefing room or the gravity room, which you've just seen there are no dead ends. It was put together when I was on the ship and originally sort of designed it. It was very much sort of focused around multiplayer combat at the time, and you know, a good multiplayer map is you've always got options. You've always got at least 2 options at every corridor, every room.
You're constantly flowing around it.
No dead end. So yeah, as you can see.
I actually had a bug this morning come through about the writing on the wall being shorthand.
Oh dear.
So it's spelt incorrectly.
Oh.
I was like, no, it's not. It's intentional choice.
Yeah.
Argo hangar.
So we've got the ATC room, which overlooks the hangar, which is obviously very useful for being an ATC. We'll come back later to the other side to see what's in
Full
there.
design.
There's a lot of decks to the Idris.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the subdeck in the Argo, which you would have seen, or the utility vehicle, I should call it. You've got your main deck. This is the sort of the main symmetrical area, and then through the heart, I would say the center.
I mean, how tall is it from like the floor to the ceiling? Because I don't know if it's this point of view or perspective, but it doesn't look that high. So if you're really tall, then you're gonna have a hard time navigating throughout the ship.
Main deck. This is the sort of the main symmetrical area, and then through the heart, I would say the center of that sort of floor plan is all of the, I would say, business side of the room. So obviously you've got your mess hall here.
It's a chow line. Don't talk about the chow line. It's
I hear roast lamb is still on special.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an inside joke, by the way. Sleeping quarters.
This is for your general crew for the ship. The bunk.
Wait, isn't the Idris the ship that was used in Squadron 42 gameplay demo? Because I'm like, so far the interior and everything is starting to like come back to me, and it looks pretty similar. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Have shutters on them, a bit more privacy.
With inbuilt home entertainment system.
So this is 2 mirrored, I guess, solo cabins. The pilots get their own little area at the end.
Which are about to get a little bit bigger, but you didn't hear that from me.
So the version that you're seeing here is taken from a point in time on Squadron recently, but there are lots of little tweaks that we'll talk about in the future to deliver more of the Idris. One of them, the missile room, is a big one that's still to come that is not available here at this time. But there's, like Nate said, lots of other little tweaks as we get closer to shipping Squadron that we'll be making.
Again, inspirations with regards to archetype for Aegis. You can see there's a strong inspiration from some of my favorite 1980s movies through here. I like to see, material breakup, introduce textures, leather where we can do to make it feel a bit softer and more inviting, as a good habitational area should be.
Okay.
And it's different for different ships, right? But when you're designing a capital ship, it kind of needs to tick all of the boxes. From a putting the ship together point of view, everything is modular. So
Okay, so that's really interesting. With all the like padding and all that on the walls, it looks like he's trying to like create a balance instead of just like, um, you know, I'm trying to say like maybe he's trying to input a little bit of comfort in there, and also just like trying to balance it out. Some areas could be like very, as you can see, just like hard floors and hard walls and hard ceilings, but maybe some areas could like kind of give it like a different feeling and environment. So that's cool. I mean, these guys really did try to make it like a diverse ship.
You'll notice probably in the PU now a lot of these elements are reused in some of the Aegis ships simply because, you know, we try and put the ships together in a modular fashion. And the bigger the ship gets, the more modular it needs to be. You really want to avoid doing too much unique stuff because it will hammer your video memory. Because this was I would say it's the first capital ship we done. It is the first, isn't it? Yeah, and it was really sort of, you know, genesis of, this was put into production actually around the same time as the Retaliator, many years ago. And it was at that time that we started to establish, you know, a really good understanding of how we want habitational areas to feel and look, feeling being a prominent feature. Engineering, again, completely different. You got the technology side of it and the medical side of it. So they became the sort of like 4 style guides, I would say, that became the, you know, the springboard for a lot of the other ships to sort of follow on from.
Yeah, you see a lot of similar stuff in the Hammerhead, which actually uses a lot of the Idris kit as well. And different areas have their different technical feeling.
You'll notice here when you come in through the centre of the med bay, for example, there are very little right angles. When you look at the floor plan, for example, it generally dollies off at 45-degree angles or 60-degree angles. I don't like right angles in floor plans. Things need to flow, as you can see there. You're going to get a right angle when you come out of a door. There's not much you can do about that. But yeah, and it's all interweaved. You'll notice there's lots of windows that look outside. There's lots of windows that look back into the hangar. So we're not doing any cheating. Escape pods here. Yeah,
right at the front of the ship now. So this is the manned turret at the front, the big one up top. And then lots of escape pods here for everyone that's in the sort of upper front half if things go sideways and you need to get off the ship. So going back down the starboard side, have to do the bathroom head of port and starboard.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned that, John, because navigation has been a little bit of an issue. So these corridors that you're running around at the moment, they're going to have a lot more of an injection of colour in the future. So you'll have a much better understanding of whether you're going forwards or backwards or whether you're on the left or the right. Worth noting as well, like all the spaces that you're seeing are completely undressed. There are, you know, tens of thousands of entities that end up on top of what you're seeing for Squadron because it needs to feel more lived in, it needs to tell that story. So it's kind of bare bones seeing it this way, which is kind of strange for me at the moment.
Yeah, it was very strange when we were getting this ready for the PU to take off all those layers and sort of see it in a state that we've not seen.
Plus also we're not seeing it with NPCs.
Yeah.
When you see this with NPCs and, you know, people walking around carrying out their duties, engineers doing their things at panels or whatnot,
it gives a little bit
feels lived in, it feels alive. But, you know, hopefully when it goes into the PU there'll be plenty of people running around anyway, which will make it feel very similar for you guys.
Hamster balls.
You want to get a bath?
Makes sense.
Go to the gym.
I don't know what we had there originally.
Ooh, gym.
Opposite the ATC. Was it? It was the pilot.
It was the pilot ready area, but we moved the pilot ready area down to the same level as the hangar, so you can get your gear, scramble out as quickly as possible, rather than getting your gear,
run down a flight of stairs,
falling down 2 flights of stairs, and then sort of hobbling into your ship with a broken ankle.
Then going further back.
Yeah, I mean, look, see?
We're swinging further back.
Right there, like you're so close to like the top of the pipes that you're gonna like bash your head. Or vents.
We're sort of halfway, 3/4 of the way back.
Yeah, you got your sort of, I think...
The crossover point here.
Yeah, you got 2 crossover points on the hangar.
Looks like a bridge. Yeah.
Now you're gonna
crossover
sort of
point.
Come through, and this is where a lot of the asymmetry comes in, although the footprint is sort of similar. You'll come through. On one side, you've got a brig, which is where all the naughty people go, and we have a lot of naughty people in the game. There's a security office in there, and on the opposite side of that is, basically the opposite side of the ship, is the Armory, which you'll see in a little bit.
Big escape pods, so big shared ones rather than individual pods. You might have seen, as we've gone around, some big red signposted rooms. They, I believe, have EVA airlocks in them, as well as sort of maintenance storage areas. So all signposted, so you know in a hurry where to go. Then the main briefing room.
Main briefing room, again, integral to Squadron. This is where you're going to get your mission briefings and so on.
Oh, nice.
It's a big ship.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
I like
Like I
that.
say, there's a lot crammed in.
Yeah.
So now we're in the opposite side to where the brig was. So this is the armory and shooting range.
Quite a bit of inspiration from RoboCop. Yeah,
Oh,
as you can
really?
probably
So
all
that's
tell,
where
I'm
the
a
inspiration
bit of an
came
80s
from.
buff when it comes to the movies. When I had to do things for real, actually build things, it visually makes quite a big difference to me as a
But it's
as a-
cool
as a
design. I
visual
like
kind of guy.
the
That,
shooting range.
Firing range area is another one of the areas that has changed around a bit over time, because it was an all-in-one.
I think it was on the other side as well. I
Yeah.
think we flipped it. And then we got into the logistics of, what happens if you take your gun away from there? What's going to happen to you as a player? So there was, 'cause you're not supposed to walk around a military ship with a firearm in your hand, basically. So, lots of minor changes there, more for the social experience.
So he is correct. Technically, you're not it has to be holstered and secured, or if it's a rifle, both hands on it when you're walking around in a military ship. So yeah, I understand like why they made that correction, and I'm really happy that they did, because they want to make it as accurate as possible. So good on them.
So this is above the rear of the hangar, not all the way at the back, because it has two lifts that go down to, or one lift that goes down to the two.
Yeah,
Or one each side.
there's one each side that connects with the hangar. So if you're bringing in supplies or getting ready to go out on a long journey into the depths of space, you can, utility vehicle drops the cargo off and you can load up pretty efficiently. Decontamination area before you get into what would be the engine room.
Very different feeling, like we talked about, compared to the rest of the ship.
It's the thing with Aegis, we sort of looked at a lot of real-world scientific, I would say, hydrogen colliders, nuclear reactors. CERN was a big sort of inspiration with a lot of the
look at all
paneling
that.
and general sort of feel. And that's continued in the Gauntlet and a lot of the other Aegis ships that you'll see.
And then you will have seen them dotted around in all the corridors, but there's a lot of wall panels that hold all the
Coolant
components. So once we
exhaust.
do have some big capital size components like in the engine.
I wonder how many like engineering advisors they had to like make sure they designed this correctly, accurately, and just make it look great as well. So I wonder how many advisors they had and how long it took for them to make it.
Engine room, there's a lot of sort of secondary redundancy with all these extra wall panels dotted around. So if one area of the ship goes down, it's not completely scuppered. You can still route power around.
Yeah, it's the interesting thing in the original design document, John, where if life support systems went down on the rear of the ship, there's actually sort of like large bulkheads that close that section of the ship off, so the rest of the ship can survive. So again, thinking about sort of multiplayer aspect, if you were
so
to
there's
try and ambush
secondaries
one of these
and
things, I think
emergency
there's going to
backup
be
systems.
quite a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah, those bulkheads, I think you probably will have seen some of them in the corridors
They're
as we watch big yellowy
orange.
Yellowy orange.
Okay.
Yellowy orange. Whoa.
The layout as well.
All right, here we
the
go.
engine room, you'll notice, is pretty much, if you were boarding the ship from the hangar, pretty much the most well-protected room of the ship. Again, with that multiplayer feeling in mind. I think going off, do you remember Titan mode? Squadron, not Squadron, Battlefield.
Yeah.
I think going off, do you remember Titan mode?
What is he wearing? Oh, that's funny.
Squadron, not Squadron, Battlefield.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really just trying to create this sort of layer up on layer until you get to the engine room to make that quite difficult to ultimately disable the ship.
Like we talked about, there's a lot of
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like sharp corners, so you could literally just post up down a hallway, and you could at least nail down at least 1 or 2 guys. So, yeah, if you land in a hangar, you really do have a major tactical disadvantage.
Low in the interior, but there are those areas that have very distinct choke points to get to. Like the bridge is one, whilst there is multiple ways to get there, they're quite well defendable, and then the engine room is the other. So those are two areas you really don't want people getting to uninvited.
Makes sense.
So there's a few ways you can go up to the bridge. There's obviously this lift, but there is also a set of staircases either side. So you have these sort of tactical stations at the back, flanking each side, down on a lower level from the main bridge area.
I think I would say most proud of on the bridge. There's been a lot of rework done, but you'll notice here the view out. It's pretty spectacular. We removed what would be, the cross frame, which went across the front of the ship, so you got completely unrestricted.
Yeah, this is definitely the ship that was used in the Squadron 42 demo. I mean, the interior and design, everything looks exactly the same. It has to be this ship.
Productive views out to space, but it still feels chunky and weighty, which it needs to, which is a success.
So that was a little bit of a director's commentary on the Idris, which hopefully you'll have seen and experienced as part of the event that's been going on in the Persistent Universe recently. And as great as the ship looks in the video and the events, there's still quite a bit of work to do before we can give it to players to have for real. Things like resource network, multi-crew gameplay, all these things that make it an actual living, breathing capital ship that you want to run and own. That's pretty much it for now.
Yeah, to echo what John said, hope you enjoyed what you saw. There's still a ways to go with regards to sort of delivering, the ship as a whole for the PU. But I just want to give a shout out to all the teams that have been involved in working on it. I mean, the list is endless. Artists, designers, concept artists, lighting crew, social design, level design.
A lot of people.
I mean, it's huge. There is literally hundreds of people involved in delivering such an asset to yourselves, and we really hope with the limited time that you get it, that you really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there's people at the company that haven't touched it in some way or form over the years. It's such a big part of the experience.
Wow. So
So
this
what
is
we
a
learned
big
this
project.
week? Well, we learned that the Idris is a delight to behold inside and out, that it's benefited and continues to do so from years of iteration in Squadron 42, that there's still lots to be done beyond the currently fantastic art to bring the gameplay to it that it and its owners deserve, and that when all that is said and done, this is going to be one heck of an addition to the Persistent Universe. For Inside Jared Huckabee...
Wait.
This is going to be one heck of an addition to the Persistent Universe. For Inside Jared Huckabee...
Oh, he meant to say Inside Star Citizen, and he put his name in there. Oh, that was great.
Heck of an addition to the Persistent Universe.
I gotta hear it again.
For Inside Jared Huckabee... Oh no! Is Idris the ship you've been looking for?
Wow, he can't recover
For
from that.
Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week. Some weeks you have it, some weeks you don't.
Oh, that was funny. Wait. That's a sandworm.
Stupid.
All right, guys. So that was a really great video. I really enjoyed it. Learning a little bit more about the Idris and like how many people went into it, the design of it, and everything. I really enjoyed it. At the end there, Jared messing up the outro inside Jared Huckabee instead of inside Star Citizen. That was hilarious. But as always, I really enjoyed these videos and hope you guys are as well. And I hope you guys now are enjoying the videos a lot more because now there's no audio issues. Like I said, it took a while and I took a lot of research trying to figure out how to fix this, but overall it was equipment reasons. So I can't use my other laptop anymore when it comes to recording. So I can only use my gaming laptop. But hey, it works now. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that notification so you know when I drop the next episode. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the reason why the channel keeps on going. So without anything else, I'll see you guys next time.